Okay, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into the absolute ultimate DIY gardener's roadmap for designing, building, and maintaining a highly efficient drip irrigation system. Listen, if you want to save time, drastically reduce your water bill, and honestly just watch your plants absolutely thrive like never before, you are entirely in the right place. Setting up your own system might seem a little daunting at first, but we're going to break it down into a simple, logical process that literally anyone can follow. Let's kick things off with a pretty crucial question. Are you just completely tired of dragging heavy hoses around, wasting water, and somehow mostly just growing weeds in the empty spaces between your actual plants? Yeah, we've all been there. If you're frustrated by traditional watering methods, this explainer is going to completely change how you manage your garden. Here's the thing about traditional watering. It sprays water everywhere. You're losing a huge amount to evaporation, you're germinating random weed seeds, and you're leaving plant foliage wet, which, by the way, is a massive trigger for leaf disease. Drip irrigation, on the other hand, it solves all of these major pain points. It delivers moisture slowly and incredibly precisely right where your plants actually need it, down at the roots. It starves the weeds and it keeps the plant canopy perfectly dry. All right, here's our game plan for today. We're looking at why choose drip irrigation, planning your system layout, essential materials and tools, the step-by-step installation process, testing and troubleshooting, and finally, maintenance and winter preparation. Section 1. Why choose drip irrigation? Let's look at the massive real-world impact of putting one of these systems in your backyard. So the really crucial point here is that by targeting the root zone directly, drip irrigation slashes your water usage by up to 60% compared to standard hoses and sprinklers. 60%. In a world where water is getting increasingly scarce, and let's face it, water bills are constantly rising, that level of efficiency is absolutely massive. And you're not just saving water, you're actively promoting a deep, robust root system and significantly reducing plant stress. Now here's a totally fascinating concept you might not be familiar with: fertigation. Aside from just water, a drip system unlocks the power of delivering liquid nutrients and fertilizers directly to the plant's foundation. It is widely considered the absolute most efficient way to fertilize your crops when it comes to precision and absorption. I mean, you are literally spoon-feeding your plants exactly what they need, right exactly when they need it. It's a total game changer. Moving on to Section 2, planning your system layout. Now, before you go out and buy a single piece of pipe, we really need to map out your garden and assess your starting point. Rushing the stage is easily the most expensive mistake a beginner can make. To prevent some pretty costly mistakes later on, you absolutely must execute these 4 planning steps first. Seriously, grab a tape measure and a notepad. You need to understand exactly what your specific water source can actually support. Like, are you hooking up to a municipal tap, a well, or a rain barrel? You have to know your pressure and flow rate, because those numbers dictate how many emitters you can run at once. And crucially, your source dictates your filtration needs. For instance, well water and rain barrels often need much heavier filtration than municipal tap water. All right, Section 3, essential materials and tools. Now that we have a solid plan and we know our flow rate, let's categorize the hardware you're going to need to bring this whole thing to life. It helps to think of your system in 3 distinct zones. First up, the head assembly. This starts right at the tap and controls the water. Second, you've got the distribution network. Think of this as the highway of polyethylene pipes, elbows, and joints carrying the water throughout the garden. And third, the emitters. Whether that's drip cape, drip hose, or individual external emitters, these are the precise endpoints that deliver water exactly at the base of the plant. Now, I literally cannot stress this next point enough. Skipping the filter will clog your tiny emitters, and skipping the pressure regulator will absolutely blow your fittings apart. Seriously, no joke. Most home taps run at 40 to 80 psi, which is way too high for a drip system that relies on a gentle 20 to 30 psi. The filter and regulator, they are not optional luxury items. They are the core safety mechanisms of your entire setup. Section 4, step-by-step installation process. Let's move to the main event and actually start building this system in the real world. You should always construct your head assembly at the tap in this exact sequence. Timer first for automation. Then the backflow preventer. Next goes the filter to catch any debris before it hits the regulator. Then the pressure regulator itself to drop the pressure down. And finally, the pipe adapter to connect to your main tubing. Oh, and a quick pro tip, hand tighten these components. Do not use wrenches or you run a massive risk of cracking the plastic housings. Once you leave the tap and start laying your distribution network, you might hit a roadblock, like a walkway. If your main line has to cross a path, use this brilliant trick from our sources. Slip a piece of rigid metal or thick plastic pipe over the end of your tubing to act as a protective guide, and then drive that sleeve horizontally right under the pavement. This lets you easily pull your tubing through without crushing it or filling it full of dirt. Pretty clever, right? Okay, when it's time to punch holes in your main line for your external emitters, listen carefully to this one. Push the punch tool completely straight in and pull it completely straight out. Whatever you do, do not twist it. Twisting the tool deforms the hole, turning it into an oval shape, and that is going to cause some extremely frustrating permanent leaks right at the connection point. Straight in, straight out. Section 5. Testing and Troubleshooting. Okay, you've connected everything, but before we can call it a day, it's time to test your system. Now, whatever you do, do not cap your lines immediately. Following the installation, your pipes are going to be full of little plastic shavings from punching those holes, plus random soil and dust. So follow this flushing process. Leave the ends entirely open, turn the water on, and just let it blow out all that debris. Only close and cap those ends after the water runs absolutely crystal clear. If you skip this, you're going to instantly clog your brand new system, and nobody wants that. But hey, even with perfect planning and flushing, issues can still pop up. So let's diagnose the most common problems you might run into when you turn the system on for its first real test run. If you're seeing leaks at the emitters, well, you likely twisted that punch tool and deformed the hole we just talked about. If fittings are literally blowing off the pipes, your pressure regulator is either missing, installed backward, or broken. And here's a really fascinating one. If you're feeding from a gravity barrel and you hear a bubbling or gurgling sound but you aren't getting any water, you likely have an airlock. You'll need to install a simple vertical T-joint vent at the highest point of your system to release the trapped air so the water can actually flow down. Section 6. Maintenance and Winter Preparation. To make sure this investment lasts indefinitely, we need to talk about winter care and regular maintenance. As you know, freezing water expands, and it will completely destroy your PVC and polyethylene pipes from the inside out. Depending on your climate, you need to follow this timeline strictly to drain and winterize your system before the first hard freeze, usually around November or December. First, turn the main water off. Next, drain the water out manually or blow it out. And finally, always leave the manual valves open during the winter, so any remaining trapped moisture has plenty of room to expand. A quick safety note here, if you're using an air compressor to blow out the lines, which, by the way, is a highly recommended and super efficient method, safety absolutely comes first. Please wear safety glasses. Compressed air can easily shoot flying debris, water, or even loose emitters out of the lines at really high speeds, which can cause serious eye injuries. So gear up. As a final regulatory note, just a quick disclaimer. This explainer is for educational purposes. Whenever you're hooking an irrigation system up to a potable, clean drinking water source, you absolutely must use a backflow preventer. This ensures that dirty garden water, soil, or fertilizers never accidentally get siphoned back into your home's clean drinking supply. And of course, always check and adhere to all your local water and plumbing regulations. And there you have it. You are now fully equipped with the knowledge to design, build, and maintain a highly efficient drip irrigation system. You've got the blueprint to conserve water, save massive amounts of time, and really boost the health of your plants. So the only question left is, with all that saved time and optimized watering, what will you grow next in your fully optimized water-smart garden? Get out there and start planning your harvest.